Chapter number 4,
Assalamu
we have discussed about theory of profit, and now we are going to discuss about market structure, and it is the second part of the chapter number 4. First of all, we are going to see what is market. Any idea about what is market? Do you have any idea about what is market?
Where both buyer seller combine.
Where both buyer and seller combined.
Yes.
Okay, so market is actually market is not a place, so you cannot say where. Market is when buyers and sellers exchange goods and services for a certain price, for a certain price. Or prices. So you see that in the market, there are number one, buyer should be there. Number two, seller also should be there. Number three, goods and services should be there. And number four, a price should be there. Okay, prices should be there. So 4 elements together is called market. It is not a place, not a place. Why it is not a place? Because suppose nowadays we are going for online selling or online marketing. So in online marketing, there is no need for a place. So it is not a market. So market doesn't mean any place. It is the combination of buyers and sellers where goods and services are exchanged for price. So that is called market. Okay. So the name of the market depends on the number of buyers and sellers and some certain other characteristic. So starting from seller or producer, starting from one seller or producer, one seller, it could be infinite number of seller, infinite number of seller or producer. So when a new product starts in the market, then it is started with one seller, and then gradually the number of seller increases. Second seller come in, so 2 seller, and then 3 seller, and then gradually we are going to find infinite number of seller. So depending on the number of seller, we can call the market. Okay, so this is extreme. One seller is extreme, and this is also extreme. Infinite number of seller is also extreme. In between two extremes, there are 2, 3, 4 up to infinite number of sellers. So in between them, there are a number of sellers up there. Okay. Now, can you tell me When one seller is there, what is the name of the market? When one seller is there, what is the name of the market? Can anybody tell me? Is it monopoly? Thank you. Who said this? Okay, Adnan. Okay, all right. So it is called monopoly. Mono means one. Monopoly. So when the number of sellers increased into 2, what is the name?
Dipoly?
It is not dipoly, it is duopoly. D-U-O, duo, duopoly. Duopoly. Okay, duopoly. And when it is more than 3, but less than infinity, there are certain names. Okay, so up to this, maybe it is called oligopoly. More than 2 or more than 3. More than 2 actually, more than 2. So it is called oligopoly. And when infinite number of sellers are there, then one thing is happening. It is called competition. So when numbers are many, then competition arises. So infinite number of sellers means perfectly competitive market. Perfectly competitive market. You can call it as PCM, perfectly competitive market. And in monopoly, there is no competition, zero competition or no competition. Why there is no competition here in monopoly?
Because sir, only one person is selling, so he can dictate the price.
Right, he can dictate the price. Thank you very much. Because he can dictate the price, so there is no competition. So it is actually extreme cases. One of the extreme cases. So here there is no competition. But if you move from here to there, competition increases. Degree of competition increases. Increases. So here, I mean, in this area, there is a market called monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competitive market, MCM. Right down here, monopolistic competitive market. Monopolistic competitive market. And this market constitute both competition as well as some behavior of monopoly. Some behavior of monopoly. Number of sellers is one behavior, one characteristic of monopoly, but there are other characteristics of monopoly. And monopolistic competitive market is the name because the characteristic of monopoly is also present here in MCM, as well as the competition is also present. Okay, so we now know that the number of seller is not the only characteristic of market to be considered. There are other characteristics also implied in the types of market. Let's see a table, or let's produce a table for the market structure. So let's call it a table for table market structure. And column, in the first column, we are going to say that it is types of market. Okay, types of market. And then in the second column, we are going to say that it is the number of producers. We have already have known these two columns: number of producers or number of sellers, producers, or number of sellers or sellers. Then third column is degree of product differentiation. Degree, these are all characteristic of the market. Degree of product differentiation. Third, fourth column is control over price. Control over price. Fifth column is barrier, entry barrier. Entry barrier, okay? And last column is demand curve. Shape of the demand curve. Shape of the demand curve. Okay, so we have column number 1, column number 2, column number 3, column number 4, column number 5. Let's fill the columns. Column number 1, and we are going to fill the rows. Row 1, it is TCM, perfectly competitive market. How many producers and sellers or sellers?
Infinity.
And let us take another option is buyers also. Buyers are the same. So let's call it buyers. So infinite or many sellers. Let us call it many. Many sellers. Many buyers. Okay. And what is the degree of product differentiation or the quality of product? Actually, this column can be said about the quality of the product. Quality of product. So quality of product, perfectly competitive market, because there is a competition, they are producing actually identical product. Identical product. Or you can call it as homogeneous product. What is homogeneous product? Product looks like same. Okay. Why it looks like same? Because there is a competition and everybody tries to produce something which is very very similar looking, so that competition is there. Now, what about control over price? Does perfectly competitive market have control over price? Definitely not, because there is a competition, so no control over price. There is no control. No control. Entry barrier. Is there any entry barrier? Because of the competition, there is no entry barrier. Each and every person in the world can enter into this market to buy and sell, whatever may be. So no entry barrier. So there is no entry barrier, none. Okay. Slope of the demand curve. Slope of the demand curve, because perfectly competitive market, the elasticity is infinity, and that's why, because there is no control over price, that's why demand curve is horizontal. Elasticity is infinity. For a small change in price, or there is no change in price, huge quantity is sold in the market. Okay, so this is the shape of the demand curve. Now, this is perfectly competitive market or competitive market. And from now on, 2, 3, and 4, they are singularly called imperfect competition. Imperfect competition. Perfect competition in the market number 1, and imperfect competition are rest of the markets. Imperfect competition. All of them have from 2 and on, all of them have imperfect competition. Okay. So what about monopolistic competition? Monopolistic competition. How many buyers and sellers?
1.
Monopolistic competition is there. So now you cannot say that 1. So because monopolistic, remember that our market structure has line starting from here to there. This one is monopoly, and this one is PCM. In between PCM and monopoly, there are many markets, but the monopolistic competition is here. Okay, because competition is there, so it is there many buyers and many sellers. Many sellers. Okay, many sellers. Okay, and as well as many buyers. Buyers is always many. Many buyers. Now, what is the degree of product differentiation? There are real or perceived product differentiation is there. Perceived or real product differentiation. Real product differentiation. And what do you mean by product differentiation? Product differentiation is something like they are, because they are, maintaining the competition. The competition is there. They have to produce. They have to make something change in their product so that it looks like identical, but inside there are different. Okay. So I mean, they are doing something. I mean, they are making their product different for different markets actually. Okay, so that is called differentiated product. Let me give you some example of differentiated product. Let me write down here. You use a toothpaste, right? Toothpaste. How many toothpaste do you see in the market?
Colgate,
Colgate,
Pepsodent,
Pepsodent,
Close up.
Close Up,
Sensodyne.
Sensodyne, all are
Alia.
actually inside they are same. Inside they are same. That means I mean, toothpaste has nothing to do with the teeth. The toothpaste has some lubricant power so that your your gum is not affected by your brush. I mean, filament of the brush. Okay, so inside they are same or similar, but they do something different for in the packaging, eye-catching package, or they do some advertisement. Okay, so attractive packages or attractive advertisement is there. So they are going to make the product different look, as well as they are selling their product for different types of consumer. Okay, so for poor consumer, they produce something with low priced product. For rich consumer, they are producing something higher priced product. So in that way, they are making their product differentiated. Okay, all right. So eye-catching package and advertisement. So advertisement is making their product different look. Okay, so the more you do advertisement, the higher the selling of a particular good or services. So ad and packaging makes the product different look, or they are making their product different by price, and low priced goods are for poor people, and high priced goods are for rich people. Okay, now what about the control over price in this market? Because competition is there, and because it is monopolistic in nature, so there are some control over prices there. So because of monopoly behavior is there. So by the way, monopoly has full control. Monopolistic competition has some control. Some control over price. And what about entry barrier? Entry barrier is none here because there is a competition, so entry barrier is none. What about the demand curve? Is it horizontal like competitive market? The answer is no, because there is a monopoly behavior is there. Demand curve is downward sloping. Okay, all imperfect competitive markets are demand curve downward sloping. So DD curve is downward sloping. Okay, now let's take second one. Third one. Third one is either duopoly or oligopoly. Duopoly as well as oligopoly. duopoly as well as oligopoly. So for duopoly, 2 sellers. For oligopoly, more than 2 sellers. For duopoly, 2 sellers. For oligopoly, more than 2. More than 2. Okay, and many buyers. Okay. What about product differentiation? There are little or no product differentiation. Little or no product differentiation. What about the control over price? Here also, I mean, substantial control over price. Why substantial? Why I say substantial control over price? Because you see that only 2 people are there, 2 sellers are there, or maybe more than 2 sellers. So that's why there is a substantial control over price. Entry barrier. Some entry barrier is there. Why some? Because only not 1 seller, it is 2. So entry barrier is going to be relaxed here. Again, this is also, I said that for all imperfect competitive market, demand curve is downward sloping. So this is your demand curve. Now we are going for the 4th one. In between there are many markets, but we are not going for the sake of simplicity. We are going for the 4th one and the final one, which is called monopoly. Monopoly. Now I'm not going to say about this. I mean, can you fill the gap? What about the producers, number of producers?
1.
1. And number of buyers? Many. 1 seller, many buyer. Okay, 1 seller, many buyer. Now, what about the quality of the product?
Bad.
The quality of the product is product with no closed substitute. Product with no closed substitute. Why it is there? Why it is this is the case? Because of 1 seller or 1 producer, there is no substitute of that good or of that product. Okay. Now, what is the control over price?
Complete control.
It is full control over price. Full control. Control over price. And because the monopolist has full control over price, he or she is called price maker. Price maker. Why he or she is called price maker? Because he can make price from the market. Now, if this person is called price maker, what do you call PCM, price, about price? If no control, then what is the name of the similar for price maker? This person or this seller is called price taker. Price taker. Why? Because whatever may be the price, because he doesn't have any control over price. So whatever may be price in the market, he takes the price. So that's why he is called price taker. But monopolist always make the price. So whatever may be the price, whatever may be the situation of the market, he decide which price should be should a product sell in the market. What is the criteria under entry barrier?
Potential.
No entry. No entry. So entry barrier is no entry. So if we call no entry, then none is called free entry and exit. Free entry and exit. So in the market, in the PCM, anybody can enter into the market or anybody can go out of the market. Okay. So that's why it is called free entry, free exit. Okay. Monopolistic competition is also free entry, free exit. Other markets, duopoly, some entry could be there, 1 or 2, but not more than that. Okay. But in monopoly, no entry. Entry barrier is full entry barrier. No entry, full entry barrier. And as I said, perfectly imperfect competition, the demand curve is always downward sloping. Okay. Demand curve is always downward sloping. So far, so good. Now, let's call this, if I say that, if I ask you a question, write down the characteristics of suppose dash. Dash means either PCM or MCM or M, monopoly. So we are going to discuss these three only. In this chapter, we are going to discuss PCM, MCM, and monopoly, not duopoly, not oligopoly, because duopoly and oligopoly is, the characteristics of duopoly and oligopoly are dealing with strategic behaviors. So we are not going for that. We are going to make our life easy. Okay, so we are going to only for 3 markets. So if I ask you, write down the characteristics of either PCM or MCM, monopolistically competitive market, monopolistic competitive market, or monopoly, how can you answer this?
From the previous table.
Thank you. From the previous table, you can answer easily. So you can write down 1. If it is PCM, then write down 1. There are, you can write down many sellers produces. Column number 2 is homogeneous product. Okay. Number 2 can be there is no control over price. There is no control over price. So PCM so over price. So that is seller in PCM is price taker. Price taker. Number 3 could be what is the entry barrier. So free entry and exit. Free entry and exit. Number 4, what is number 4? Demand curve. So demand curve is horizontal. DD curve, horizontal. Okay. In this way, you can write down the characteristics of other markets. Okay, so MCM and M. So I'm not going to discuss in detail about this question. Okay, so it is up to you. You can make it yourself, right? Is it okay that I'm not going to write down all these characteristics?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can check it in any book and you will find some lists over there, all right? Okay. Now, group coordinator of chapter number 4, can you remind me what is the point we are going to discuss next? I think it is 4.2 is done. What is 2.1 is done on 4.2.2. Can you check your classroom page and tell me what is 4.2.2? Bullock. Or any other group member? So can you tell me what is 4.2.1 and 4.2.2?
Sir, 4.1, sir.
Go ahead. Perfectly competitive market, PCM. And then under this point, what are the subpoints? So basic characteristics is done, and then I understand profit maximization in PCM. Profit maximization under PCM. Okay, profit maximization under PCM. Let's discuss this thing in the next page. Profit maximization under PCM. Okay. So in the last class, we have seen that, can you remind me what is the first order condition for profit maximization, FOC? For profit maximization.
MR equals to MC.
So it is first order condition is MR equals MC. Okay, so it is the first order condition for all market. whole market. But there are some additional characteristic for perfectly competitive market. Some addition to that MR equals MC, addition to MR equals MC for PCM. How? Let me discuss about this. So what is a TR? What is the equation for TR? TR equals P Q, right? TR equals PQ. We have seen in the last class. What is AR? AR equals TR divided by Q, right? So if TR is divided by Q, then what is AR? AR is P. And what is MR? DTR DQ. So if DTR DQ, then what is MR?
P.
P. So this is for this. We can say that for perfectly competitive market, profit maximization condition is AR equals MR equals MC equals P. So this is the perfectly competitive market profit maximizing condition. Okay. All right. So if this is the case, then let's start our journey for profit maximization in PCM. So profit maximization in PCM. Okay. Now let me draw some figure, and you help me to find out the profit. What is the demand curve looks like in PCM? What does the demand curve look like in PCM? Look at the table. Table says that in PCM demand curve is horizontal. So it is P, right? P is constant for perfectly competitive market. Okay. So if perfectly competitive market P is P, so it is also equal to AR, right? This is also equal to
MR.
MR. Now, what is the shape of MC? Can you remember what is the shape of MC? It is something like J or U, right? So maybe this shape. So this is MC. Now, for profit maximization, our target is to find three things. One is called Q star, that means optimum level of output. P star, optimum level of price. and pi star, optimum level of profit. So we are going to find all three combinations. Now, can you tell me where is Q star here in this graph? Can you tell me where is Q star in this graph?
I think it's like last class. Draw perpendicular from the 2 point of intersection, and there will be two candidates for that, and the one which will follow both first order condition and second order condition with the Q star.
So this is not definitely, because we have seen that this is, I mean, the MC is
Slope,
MC is crossing the MR curve from above, so it is not. This slope of MC is not, I mean, greater than
Greater
slope of MC. So here you are right? So here this is our. If we draw this line, this is our Q star. Definitely, because our this is the condition for Q star is AR should be equal to MR should be equal to MC should be equal to P. So this fulfills the condition. Although this is also fulfilling the condition, but it is not the case because it is not following the second order condition. Okay. Now, if this is the case, then how can we find profit from this graph? We need to, I'm going to remind you that profit is TC, TR minus TC, TR minus TC. And what is TR? TR is PQ. And what is TC? TC is AC times Q. Why? Because we know that SC is TC divided by Q. So TC is SC times Q. Now you see that here, P times Q. Do you see P times Q in the graph?
Yes, sir.
Where is P?
The area of the rectangle bounded
The
by
rectangle
Q
is P times Q. Thank you. Who said that?
Sir, minor.
Mainul, right? Okay. So if I say that it is P, then P times Q, this is the area, this is our TR, okay? And how can we find, SC or TC? In order to find TC, we need to draw SC here. So we know the rule for SC. SC curve could be look like this. Suppose this is our SC. Be careful about that. Minimum of the SC. MC curve should cut SC through the minimum. Remember this? MC curve should cut SC curve through the minimum. Okay? Through the minimum. Now, we can say that if it is our O, and if this is our A, and we can say that PQ, P times Q is O Q star A P. This is our TR. But can you tell me what is TC? We know Q. Q is this. OQ star is Q. But where is SE?
The point at which Q star intersects AC curve.
So when the Q star is intersecting here, right? So
Yes,
here.
sir.
So this is the intersecting point. So we need to draw a horizontal line. Sorry for that. I don't have any scale. So this is our horizontal line, and it makes our. Now, if I say that this is C, means SE, and this is B, then our SE is OC, and our Q is OQ star, right? So we can say that OQ star B C is our TC. Now tell me what is our profit?
A small rectangle drawn.
Small rectangle. So what is the name of this small rectangle? Maybe
CBP.
CBAP. This is our profit. Pi star. Okay, this is our pi star. So we have seen this is P star. We have seen P star, we have seen Q star, we have seen also pi star. Okay. So this rectangle, small rectangle is called, supernormal profit. Normal profit, supernormal profit. And if there is a supernormal profit, there is a, substantial profit is there, then in the market for, this supernormal profit will attract, let me write down here, attract others to enter into the market. Enter the market. Why it is possible? Why it is possible? Because we know that from this table, we know that entry barrier, free entry and exit. Do you see this? Do you see the free entry and exit?
Yes, sir.
So if we know that free entry and exit is there, when supernormal profit is there, some firm, we can write down here, some firm will enter. And when some firm will enter, what is the result? The result is, I can write down here, the result is supernormal profit disappear. Okay, supernormal profit disappear. So let's draw a loss-making industry. Let's draw a loss-making industry with other color.
So what does it mean by farm?
Farm, in one of the classes, I told you about farm.
Oh, yeah, yes. Yes, sir.
Can you remember?
Yes, sir.
FARM. F-I-R-M, and industry. So firm means this firm is some firm together is called industry. Okay. Now let's draw another curve here. Quickly draw it. So this is our P equals MR equals air. It is actually horizontal, although it is not horizontal. Understand that it is horizontal. Okay. Now, suppose our MC curve is like this. MC curve. So our Q star is here. This is our Q star. Okay, this is our Q star. Now, suppose our AC is this. So be careful about drawing AC. AC, minimum AC should be crossing point. This is our AC. So you see that minimum point of AC, at the minimum point of AC, MC curve cross from below. Okay. MC curve cross AC curve from below. Now this is P and this is O. So this is A. So same thing here. Same thing, you can find it here. So OQAP is this rectangle is what? This rectangle
TR.
is
TR.
TR. Now, how can you draw TC?
The intersection point is above A.
No, there is no intersection point. You need to find the AC first. This one should be there. The SC, you need to find SC. And then you can find a curve. How can you find? So you look, Q is your Q, always Q, right? So you need to extend, be careful, you need to extend the Q line to touch your SC curve. Be careful about that. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
So now you get SC. All right. So what is SC now? This is your SC. Okay. So now we can see that this is C, means SC, and this is B. Okay. Now you see that your so what is your TC? Your TC is O Q star B C, same thing. And your SC TR is O Q star A P, same thing. All right. Now you see that this one is bigger, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So this one is bigger means what? Your TC is bigger than TR. So it is actually with negative sign. So this CA, CB, AP is with negative, and this is called loss. So we can consider this as what? Loss. Okay. So what is your similar argument about this loss? To see the loss, what happens there? existing sum of existing firm will do what? Will
Leave the market.
leave the market or quit the market. Why? Because of there is a loss. Okay. Why this is the case again? This is because of free entry, free exit, free entry, free exit. So exit is free. That's why, seeing the loss, they disappear from the market. Okay, so we see that supernormal profit and loss is there. Okay. Now, these two are short run behavior. Let me write down here, short run behavior. This is also short run behavior. Now, can you tell me what could be the long run behavior?
In
What
a
could be the long run?
long run, net profit will be 0.
Net profit will be 0. Why? Because short run, if there is a profit, supernormal profit, some firm enters the market, some firm enter the market, some firms enter the market. If loss is there, some firms quit the market. Ultimately, what happens? There is no profit, no loss. It is called normal profit. Let us draw normal profit here, and this is long run behavior. Okay, so this is equal to P equals MR equals AR. So suppose here there is P equals MR equals AR. Okay. Let me erase this because this is not the case. AR. Okay. Now, if we draw again MR curve like this, MR, and you very carefully you draw the AC curve in such a manner that here is the tangential point between AC and AR. This is our AC. Let us use another, different color pen. Suppose we are going to write down here. This is our AC. Okay. Now, obviously, this is our Q star. And this is our O, and this is A equals B. Okay, and this is P equals C. P equals C. So you see that these two are equal. This one and that one are equal. So that's why this is equal to 0. And there is no profit, no loss. It is called normal profit. Normal profit. And you can ask me, sir, there is no profit, so why you call it normal profit? This is a normal profit because everybody gets its own price. That means our factors of production are land, labor, capital, and organization. All are getting their prices. So land are getting rent, labor are getting wage, capital are getting interest rate, and this is getting profit. So when production process is there, this profit is done. After getting this profit, the situation is this. So we can see that here profit is already eaten by organization. Here at this point, profit is already eaten by organization. That's why there is a normal profit. Although we don't see this profit graphically, but profit is already eaten by organization. That's why it is called normal profit. Okay. So this behavior is actually long run behavior.
Then what's the benefit of the owner of the organization?
The owner of the organization is the benefit is that this organization is getting profit actually. We are not seeing this, but they are getting profit. This is the benefit. Because of competition.
But, sir, if someone is getting profit, doesn't that mean others are getting loss?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It is you are in competitive market, so it is not that if someone's profit is some other are getting loss. If you are in duopoly, thank you very much for the question, but it is not in our syllabus. If you are in duopoly or you are in oligopoly, then you can say that there is a strategic behavior if someone is making profit, because two sellers are there. If someone is making profit, maybe it is some others are losing, making the loss. So this behavior is strategic behavior and our syllabus that doesn't allow us to go for that. So we are not going for that. We're just taking only this PCM, MCM, and M, not duopoly and oligopoly. Okay, do you get my point? So because of competition and because price taker, everybody is getting their own price. Land, labor, capital, organization, all are getting their own price. So they are happy with normal profit. If in any case supernormal profit arises, some markets, some firm will come in, and if any case losses are there, some firm will quit from the market. So from this two short-run behavior, we can guess what is happening in the long run. Okay. All right. Now tell me, from your practical experience, tell me what makes a firm making supernormal profit. What makes a firm making supernormal profit? Very easy.
We are thinking, sir.
Very easy. It is your subject matter. Technology. Technology makes a firm having supernormal profit.
Cryptocurrency.
How technology makes the SE curve going down, so that there is a profit. And if you are out of technology, your SE curve is above P, above the P line. That's why you are making loss. Okay. That's why CSE, computer science and engineering are working on that, improving technologies so that we can lower the SE curve, so that we can make supernormal profit. You are students of CSC department, you are working with that, improving the technology so that we can lower the AC curve below the P line so that we can make supernormal profit. And if some company discover this, many companies follows. You see that these things in your world, right? So if Microsoft introduce something, Mac always, going, or Apple always follows. Or if Apple develops some technology, other firms are following. This is, free entry and exit. Okay, grabbing the technology means you are taking, you are entering the market properly. Okay. Okay, and this is for today. We are up to this, and in the next class we are going to talk about MCM and monopoly. Maybe it will take us maybe half an hour to finish chapter number 4. Okay.
Okay, sir.